The study found how facts were less than essential to several rather than the emotion wish to roller domestic sameness. Public print analyze offered how order wing networks are a lot more than organized rather than on the leftward, enterprising nationalist counterfeit stories future. The received information go of wide study in India, Kenya and Nigeria in the way common countrymen attract in and distribution counterfeit news story. In all three countries, mistrust of main news story point of sale spurred human beings to distribution data of option source, out of trying to check it, in the faith how they were helped to distribution the actual history. Human beings were as well too sure in their capacity to place counterfeit news story. These turned on the quantity of comments on a Facebook position, the various of images on the posts, or the censor, in human beings' arrogant WhatsApp messages of household and friends could be trusted and shipped on out of check. Common dividing of erroneous rumors on WhatsApp has led to a wavelength of abuse in India, in human beings shipping on counterfeit messages on kid abductors to friends and household out of a feeling of responsibility to defend favorite ones and communities. The study in Africa offered how domestic sameness was minor in the distribution of counterfeit news story. In Kenya, schemes associated to cash and technique were a much stronger drive strength, helping to about a tertiary of stories share on WhatsApp, time counterfeit stories regarding to terror and the troop were wide share in Nigeria. In both of countries, public health scares were visible amongst wide share counterfeit news stories, and lot news story consumer attended both of plausible and counterfeit news story source out of distinctive among them. Researchers consumable hundreds of several hours in 80 attending through the three countries, interview them at household on their print intake as considering how they share data via WhatsApp and Facebook for a 7-day time. By Santanu Chakrabarty we set out in the study to try to reply the issue of why common countrymen distribution counterfeit news story, a slight understood portion of the counterfeit news story equalization. While a event is new or not really so understood, quality study techniques are helpful. These techniques, in the instance to depth interviews and upwards close surveillance of dividing behaviors, permitted us to investigate counterfeit news story in subtlety, wealth and deep. Since we requested to aware which was propagating in ciphered individual networks such as WhatsApp, ethnographical approaches, newcomer human beings at household, were significant. The is the at first named study draft in these countries how uses these methods to know the counterfeit news story event at the standard of common countrymen.